Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI Talk. Es geht Schlag auf Schlag. Jetzt bin ich bei K92 Mining. Gleich einmal vorweg, Conflict of Interest. Ich habe ja diese Company auf meine Empfehlungsliste genommen, habe sie auch jetzt gekauft. Schauen wir mal, ob das Tief war. Aber ich bin relativ zuversichtlich, wobei meine Statistik ja gegen mich spricht, denn ich kaufe immer zu früh. Vielleicht bin ich ja diesmal richtig vom Timing. Bryan, thank you to have time again. The first interview we do, I think it was 1.5 years ago.
Yes, I think so.
And at this time, your share price was, I must say, first conflict of interest. I'm a shareholder. I bought in a few weeks ago. With, I hope, close to the bottom.
Right.
And I put also the stock on my yearly recommendation list. But 1.5 years ago, you are far away from production, but your share price was much, much higher. Now you hopefully close to commercial production. You are in pre-production phase, we can say.
We're in production now. We're producing and shipping concentrate.
Yep.
And commercial production, we think, is on the very near-term horizon.
Okay. So hopefully then that the share price is really on the near the bottom. The question is for me, 1.5 years ago you was far away. Now you're in production. You're close to commercial production, but your stock price is half of them or a third of them what we talked 1.5 years ago, and the gold price itself is still not bad. So what was the reason, or what do you think is why the share price is so low?
You know, I think there were a couple of things that happened, Joe. One was not K92 specific. The gold market, despite very good gold prices, has been rather weak. That being said, gold is moving higher now. There is some more excitement in the gold equities.
We saw this on this conference this weekend.
Absolutely. I was at the TD conference last week, an institutional conference in Toronto, and we also saw it there. So we're starting to see real interest in the golds again. And I think K92 is very well positioned given that. If your listeners remember, we acquired this project from Barrick Gold.
Mm-hmm.
Barrick originally purchased this for US $141 million, subsequently put in excess of $100 million into this. And when we acquired it, there were two different deposits of note. One was called Irumafimpa. That was the deposit that was in production previously, quite narrow vein, very high grades, relatively difficult to mine. But that's where the underground development was done in the past, and that's what we inherited. Down the road, approximately 1,100 meters away, there was the deposit known as Kora. Kora, very high grades of gold, high grades of copper, high grades of silver, and a big, wide vein.
Mm-hmm.
Now, two things have happened over the past year as we've moved into production. One of them is very positive and sets the stage for where we're going now. And the other was negative, and I think that explains a bit of the share price pullback. Irumafimpa, because the existing infrastructure underground was in place, is where we started to mine. And we started to produce concentrate from Irumafimpa. Very good grades, but it's a tough deposit. It's narrow vein, it pinches and swells, and we encountered difficult ground conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And those ground conditions that were more difficult than we anticipated definitely caused a slowdown in ramping up Irumafimpa.
Mm-hmm.
However, the positive, and this is a big positive and really, like I say, sets the stage going forward, is that 500 meters along strike and 150 meters down dip from the known Kora deposit, we discovered an extension of Kora.
Mm-hmm.
And Kora has always been the prize here. It's already close to 2 million ounces in the inferred category of very high grades. But again, 500 meters along strike, 150 meters down dip, we discovered on our first exploration hole a northern extension of the Kora deposit. Since announcing that discovery in May, we put in a development into that area. We then drilled a series of holes from an underground drill cuddy at grade control spacing, hitting 12 out of the first 12 holes, 14 out of the first 14 holes. It was amazing to see the continuity and the big wide vein that was Cora, so far away from where Cora was previously known. We then started to produce from Cora. This is much, much earlier than anybody expected. We've now been in consistent production in this Cora North area. Again, much simpler to mine than Irma-Fimpa. We continue to mine at Irma-Fimpa, but Cora has come online so much earlier than expected, and this is a big wide vein, exceptional gold grades, exceptional copper grades also. We've continued to drive towards the previously known Cora deposit and have now set up a second drill cuddy. We just announced 6 holes from that cuddy. Every one hit mineralization, and the vein encountered was 4 meters to 8 meters wide, very wide vein, and again high grades. So what we're doing now, we've fast-tracked this Cora North area into production. We're shipping concentrate from Cora North. We're now drilling off at grade control spacings, targeting mineable inventory. And because of the success we're having, we've added another drill rig that can take longer shots, and we're starting to explore this 5, 6, 7 million ounce potential that we see Cora potentially being. Over the next year, there's a goal here. The goal is to drill between where we are now at Cora North and Cora proper and fill in the gaps, because the area just hasn't been drilled. What it looks like, we've confirmed now that Cora not only exists 500 meters along strike and 150 meters down dip of the known deposit, but it's robust, high grade, and wide in that area. And our first production from the Cora North area has resulted in a very high grade concentrate, very clean concentrate, very coveted by off-takers. We're shipping that. And the important thing to remember from an expansion potential, Cora remains not only open in every direction, but it's strongly mineralized at the extent of all drilling, including at depth. So Cora could be absolutely huge. And remember, it was Cora proper that we did a preliminary economic assessment on that contemplated $500 million plus of cash flow over 9 years, came up with an incredible internal rate of return, contemplated all-in sustaining costs of $619 per ounce, and an annual production rate of 108,000 ounces a year. Now, we didn't expect to be in Cora by this point. We had the exploration discovery, and instead of driving all the way over to Cora as it was previously known, Cora has come to us, which has been a stroke of great fortune, good luck, in other words, and we're now in production at Cora. So while Irma-Fimpa had challenges and the share price pulled back because of it, Cora has been an incredibly positive surprise. It was always the big prize for us, and now we're there a lot earlier than expected. I would believe, and this is a goal, it's not done yet, but I would hope that over the next couple of weeks, few weeks, we're able to declare commercial production based on this success we're having at Cora. And I think that's something the market wants to see. It's a show-me story. We have to execute. We have to prove that we can reach commercial production. And I would hope in the next 2 to 3 weeks, your viewers will see that that has been achieved.
Okay, that sounds logical. That the main project, the first main project, hit. And it was not so successfully what most people expect. That was the reason why the share price is going down. Coming to production number, can you say something what you expect 2018? I know exactly you're not in commercial production. It's a lot of ifs, but what we can expect.
Well, it's tough to guide on that officially before we're in commercial production.
Sure.
So what I would say as to guidance is wait over the next few weeks. You'll hopefully see that declaration of commercial production. I believe you will. And then you'll see the expansion plan going forward and information about production. What we have shown is we put out numbers, we put out quantitative data on Cora, the type of recoveries we're getting, and without optimization, because one of the things that people always ask about is metallurgy and recoveries when you put a new deposit online. Already at Cora, we're getting recoveries that are as good, if not better, than we contemplated in the preliminary economic assessment. And that's without optimization, and it's without a gravity circuit in the mill. So the metallurgy, the recoveries, we're just exceptionally happy with. The goal now is to ramp Cora north up into that commercial production level. And again, I think you'll see something in relatively short order. We also talked about in a recent press release that we're in discussions, that we've been, in advanced discussions with an off-taker for the Cora concentrate, because this is a very coveted concentrate. Again, the PEA contemplates $619 all-in sustaining cost, 108,000 ounces annually per year. It contemplates a total capital to get to that level, mill and underground, of $13.3 million. We're in a discussion with an off-taker about a $15 million prepayment, pre-purchase of concentrate, in order to fund that expansion up to 108,000 ounces per year. So if we meet here again in 12 months, the goal is to have drilled off and tested the exploration potential at Cora. And we do think that is 5, 6, 7 million ounce potential, based on the fact that we've got close to 2 million ounces in the inferred category here. We've now encountered the zone 500 meters along strike, 150 meters down depth. All of the drill holes, or the vast majority of drill holes, continue to hit in that area, and it's wide open at depth. And I'll refer people to the PA to take a look at that in more detail, the independent technical report. But I think that if they take a look at that report, they'll see why we believe it has that type of potential. At the same time as drilling off that size, we hope to be well underway of implementing that transition up to 108,000 ounces per year as outlined in the PEA. So there's a lot of work to be done, but the next milestones, I would say you'll see continued drill results, because we've got 2 drill rigs turning around the clock. We continue to encounter the zone. We're drilling from 2 different underground drill cuddies. And of course, what a lot of the market wants to see is this milestone of commercial production. And I think it's right around the corner. So over the next year, there's a lot going on site. But over the next month, there can be a lot of excitement also.
So I think this was a great summary. Normally I make the summary, but you do it better than I can do. So thank you for the update. Next time when I come over, then hopefully the commercial production is already done, and then we can talk a little bit about numbers, and better for numbers and so on. And then we can go and see better details also, than all the offtake agreements going on and so on and so on. So es makes absolutely sense. Ja, das war ein Update von K92 Mining. Wie gesagt, ich bin ja Aktionär. Er hat gesagt, der Grund, warum eigentlich der Aktienkurs so weit nach unten gegangen ist, dass man bei diesen ersten Minen, die wir gehabt haben, die sehr enge Venen gehabt haben, so hochgradig, aber sehr enge Venen gehabt haben, die es deutlich schwieriger war abzubauen, als man tatsächlich, als es tatsächlich in den Analysen ausgeschaut haben, ist in den ganzen Studien. Man produziert derzeit schon, allerdings noch nicht Commercial Production. Das erwartet er in den nächsten Monaten, und das erwartet auch der Markt. Man hat schon länger das habe ich auch hier gesagt, wieso sind sie noch nicht offiziell in Produktion? Und der Grund ist dieses Delay bei dem Ganzen, was sie haben, dass sie diese Commercial Production noch nicht bekannt geben haben können. Er geht davon aus, dass das in den nächsten Wochen der Fall ist, und er hat ihm gesagt, dass es dieses eine Problem gegeben hat bei diesem einen Deposit. Was aber ganz wichtig ist und was extrem positiv ist, ist dieses Cora-Projekt. Da haben sie ungefähr 2 Millionen Unzen in Field Resources drinnen. Sie haben eine Extension gefunden, 500 Meter im Norden, wo sie quasi jedes Bohrloch richtig trifft. Und der große Unterschied ist, dass das nicht enge Venen sind, sondern richtig breite Venen, 4 bis 8 Meter teilweise breit, hochgradige Gold, hochgradiges Kupfer, das dort sie finden, und Silber-Contents haben sie auch noch dazu. Also das ist eigentlich sozusagen der Jackpot des Ganzen. Und dort sind sie jetzt auch schon teilweise in Produktion. Sie haben ein Offtake-Agreement gemacht, um 15 Millionen zu bekommen. Dieses Geld soll dazu investiert werden, damit sie diese Produktion sozusagen auf 108.000 Unzen pro Jahr steigern können. Die All-In-Kosten liegen irgendwo bei 650 $, muss man die PE nochmal anschauen. Aber eines ist klar, wenn Sie Commercial Production produzieren, also bekannt geben, wenn die Bohrergebnisse weiterhin so gut sind, und er hat ja gesagt, sie erwarten, dass in dieser Ära, wenn das so weiter von den Bohrergebnissen ist und wie es jetzt derzeit ausschaut, auch in der Tiefe offen ist, um die 6 Millionen Unzen dort als Lagerstelle haben. Also das muss man sich einmal vorstellen. 6 Millionen zu dem Aktienkurs. Absolutes, extrem billige Sache, braucht man überhaupt nicht drin. Ich habe dann gar nicht mehr weitergefragt, weil er kann relativ wenig sagen, solange sie nicht in der Commercial Production sind. Deswegen werde ich schauen, dass ich, wenn ich dann das nächste Mal im Mai, Juni wieder rüberkomme, dass ich wieder Update dazu mache, weil das ist halt einfach dann richtig eine spannende Sache, und da wird es dann richtig, hoffentlich richtig zur Sache gehen. Ja, das war's. Als Update von K92 Mining, Vancouver, Jänner 2018. Tschüss und Baba.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.